So sometimes the most significant and impactful communication occurs when we are willing to be spontaneous and go with the flow. Yeah. But that comes with experience, because at the beginning, that will also destabilize you. But over time, as you communicate and build your skill in communication, you are able to tune your communication to meet the feedback you are receiving real time from the people. All right. Be careful not to be overly reliant on devices, right? And there are people that have been reliant on devices, and devices includes your hotline also. I mean, there are people who have traveled miles only to find out that they left their teaching notes back at home, right? So the extent to which you have personalized the message will save you, right? So you have to be careful you have to build yourself beyond devices, whether it be your computer, your paper, something. You need to be ready, first of all, to deliver the message without your notes. Notes should be an added value, not your main message, right? Because something can happen that you don't have that note itself, and you have to be prepared to give the message. It could be your computer you forget or whatever, but you have to be careful because devices can disappoint you for whatever reason. And it says, ask yourself 2 questions. Can you survive without digital assistance? Can you thrive without it, right? If you're confident and in charge of the message, then technology will complement your efforts admirably. But if you are relying on the latest and greatest tech as a crutch, chances are good that sooner or later you'll fall, right? So be careful to depend on other things other than yourself, because they can always fail. No matter how much you like it, make sure those receiving your message will find it valuable, practical, and personally relevant, right? Don't be too carried away by your message that, when you're communicating, it's not about you. It's always about the people you're communicating with. It's not whether you like the way you're saying it. It's not whether you like what you're saying. Are they receiving the message? So you have to make sure that it's valuable to them, it's practical to them, and it's personally relevant. Otherwise, you just wasted everybody's time, right? And as you assemble any message, it's good to keep in mind 2 fundamental pillars. Who cares about your message? So what, right? Whatever you're saying, who cares about it? Do they care about it? If they care about it, what are they going to do about it, right? You don't want to tell them something that they don't care about and they're not going to do anything about. Otherwise, you wasted everybody's time, including yours. So it says, identifying your audience and keeping them in mind. Who cares, right? So who cares is taking care of you. Identify your audience. You find out what they need, where they are. That is paramount for impact. But there must also be something worth saying, the heart of your message, that makes some kind of difference to that very audience, which is the so what, right? If your message doesn't make a difference that makes your listeners' lives better, then don't bother. Put the bones aside and start again, right? It's all about changing life. It's all about changing life. If you're not changing lives, then you're wasting your time. You're wasting the people's time. Remember, preaching is not about preaching at someone, but conversing, expressing, sharing, and listening to those you wish to reach, right? And lastly, spend time preparing, dig up bones, assembling the body, and use the spark between you and your audience to infuse life into the message, right? So it's all about getting your message right to change life. Any question for me, any contribution, something I didn't say well, anything at all? All right, great.
Where I would wanted to say something on is not the previous slide, not so reliant on your materials. I remember listening to somebody who forgot his teaching materials. I think it was a pastor who went for a preaching, then forgot his materials. So what helped him was being able to, he did not rely on his material. So he could teach without the material. So even when the material came later on, he had already taught what he wanted to teach. Yes.
Yeah. Because he had already personalized the message, right?
Exactly.
And when that said something about that, which towards believing yourself. This is my testimony. As I teach and I preach everywhere, I have never had to go preach somewhere and I wasn't prepared for that occasion. Meaning when I'm preparing, it's almost like, oh, I feel it done. Oh, maybe I need more. Oh. Everything I prepare is always what I needed, even more than what I need. But the Holy Spirit always guides me in such a way that whatever it is I do is all I need. Now, I have to be careful of that balance, because also if I take it for granted, I might fall out of balance such that I might be disgraced. I might not be ready. So I have my heart here has to always be right, that I do my best. Each time I'm doing my best, when it looks as if I'm not prepared enough, I always find out that by the time I go there, I didn't need more than what I did. Right? The other side to it, talking about Wenda, is you have to build confidence in yourself over time that you are enough, such that even if I don't have a note, that is, not that I intentionally didn't have a note, but for whatever reason, maybe I forgot my note, there's already enough inside of me to deliver the same message without an outline. That has to be the way you develop yourself, right? That means you have to read, you have to continue to evolve yourself, feed yourself, such that without a note, you can deliver a message anytime, right? That's what I do. Every opportunity I get, I'm developing myself, I'm growing. As we're doing this book club, I'm learning new things as I'm reading the book. I don't know when I will need it, but at the right time, at the right occasion, everything we're talking about this will come out. But you see, if I don't put it inside, it will not come out. The Holy Spirit brings out everything I've fed myself with at the right time when I need it. But you see, if I've not fed myself with it, then there's nothing for him to bring out to use at that right time, right? So we don't necessarily develop ourselves for one message. We develop ourselves for the sake of just developing ourselves, because you never know what life will ask of you, right? And the only thing that will come out of you is what you have, not what you don't have, right?